the next section will detail widget use. We will discuss using the data sources on the sales and the purchase panels, and how to display the data source information on the time series viewer. Now here we are showing the forecast worksheet panel first, and as you can see, the period in progress is the period in progress that contains May 1st, which is the week starting of 4/29. You can see the forecasting numbers for the individual products, and we're going to move along to the sales panel itself. So from here you can see a bit of information on the time series viewer. Number one, you can see the forecast, which is mimicked here. These numbers will be reflected here in the forecast area along the bottom. If you make an adjustment on the forecast worksheet, and you can tell that it's now a manual forecast by the highlighting and the amber color of the number. If we go to the sales panel, that number is now reflected in the time series viewer. So down from the top we show the current year sales, the prior year sales, the auto forecasting numbers, which again, these auto forecasting numbers would be the auto forecast numbers here. It's just this forecast line allows you to edit those manually. You have the current year lead-in 1 and 2 based upon your sales trend here, what you've set up. We have the cases sold this year, the rolling average, which is based on your sales momentum here, indicating the number of time periods to average the sales over. We have a trend in cases based on trend number 1, which is this first layer right here. If it said trend number 2, it would reflect this right here. And if it said number 3, it would be this layer right here. If you want to include a bit of information in the time series viewer, you hit this down arrow to expand the data sources available to the time series viewer. So we can show sales trend, and these are the data that is available through sales trend. You can see prior year lead-ins, current and prior year sales, the trends, trend percentages, a blended trend. You have sales momentum, which will show you cases sold this year and a rolling average. You could include cases cut last year or inventory last year, which includes cases on hand. And then you have the forecast worksheet, which includes the forecast number. Once you've chosen the information that you actually want to see, we can manipulate the widgets that we have on the panel. The first one that I can show you is the sales momentum. Now, as you can see, the sales momentum governs on this the rolling average line right here. If we choose to make it number of periods to average those sales over to just 2 periods, we'll hit refresh. As you can see, when we change the sales momentum number of periods to average over, the rolling average number changes. We can 9 periods to average it over. You can see how the rolling average changes as we adjust that. And that sales momentum shows also the cases sold this year. We can also have a linear projection projecting how many cases that may be sold going forward based on the sales momentum. The other important widget here is the sales trend. Now we can have 3 different sales trends for a particular item. And these sales trends, you can either save the trend to the item itself or save it across your whole list of products. Normally, I would suggest saving these lead-in days to a particular item, unless you want to save it to a group of items. That is purely a decision for the user. So for this item, this Abuta Amber, we're going to look at current year lead-in number 1. The lead-in days of 120 show that our sales in the last 120 days, 37,000. We want to change that to make it 75 days. We can go ahead and hit save. And once we hit save, it will automatically change the information in the time series viewer to reflect our new lead-in days as such. And you can see based on the sales lead-in for last year and the sales lead-in for this year, whether there's an increase or decrease and the percentage associated with it. The other information that you can see in this sales panel are current year and prior year sales. And again, in this forecast line, you can adjust how you see fit to make your manual forecasts for the given time period.